Alright guys, I am here recording, looking at a possible trade coming up right now. I'm using Ichimoku trading DES. Alright, and with that I see possible trade opportunity. Let me move this. So you could see the cloud's bearish, but we flattened out here. Both span A and B are flat. The cloud is flat. That's a ranging market, but we are still bearish with Tenkan and Kijun. The immediate move is flat. As you can see, both of these are flat. This is flat, so this is a flat market right now. But we did move from this low to this high here. We have a crossover that's bearish. We're below the cloud, and since our TK crossover is still bearish, I'm going to go with a bearish trade here. So I'm trading. You probably can't see my account right now, but it's right here. You can't see the whole thing, but anyway, I'm getting ready to make a trade, because looking at this Ichimoku opportunity right here, we're looking at taking this short trade right here. Possibly. We don't know yet. Everything's setting up the way I want. The volume coming in was bearish here, so we flattened out. I want to see bearish volume break this low here, and then I'll take the trade. All right, so we're just waiting patiently. Now if we close, I want to see the close right here. Man, this thing's pushing so deep. I don't like getting in on big, super big candles like that. This was the trade here. We didn't take the trade. Now we're pushing back down to this level. This is not a good trade to get into at this point. If this candle closes too big, a lot of volume to the downside there though. Let's see what this market's going to give us. So these are still flat, which is not good. We want to see those angling to the downside. So we could range here, quite possibly. But we can take this trade. We'll have a bigger stop loss because now we waited for this to close instead of taking the break of this level. And we're pushing on a big candle. I don't even have a chance. Sorry, it's gone. So we missed that opportunity. All right, guys, we're in a trade right here. We took the trade to break Kijun Tenkan right here. The market pushed down. I think this is a flat support level. Basically, you got two levels here because you got the previous day low. Need to see this candle close down here. I'd like to see this candle break this level. If it breaks this level, we're good to go. The problem is Tenkan and Kijun are flat, so we may be ranging in this level right here. I'm staying in this trade right now. I want to see some angulation. That's what would be good. Yeah, so we might be stuck in this range right here. All right. And we pushed back up on this candle here. It's less volume than the previous candle so far. And we only have 20 seconds to go. So it's a little bit less than the previous volume, and you can see it's pushed up a little. Now at the end, it's coming through here. That last 30 seconds, usually you see what the true candle is going to be. You'll start to see that move if it's going to push lower or not. We got pretty much around the same volume and pretty much the same candle. Man, we got to see if we could get through this level, then this thing could push. We could move our stop loss way down here. And pretty much we need to be right here. We're not at the spot we want to be. All right, so we're about 687. I'm about to flatten right here. Let me see what this candle is going to do here. I'm flattening right there, 687. So the reason I flatten, because we probably could push down to this level right here. And we may get through this level here. But my reason is, if I'm trading with Ichimoku as I am today, I want to see the market. I want to see Tenkan and Kijun aiming to the downside right now. And they're not. All right. And that's a problem. So I think this level is a zone of support right here. This is probably your support zone right here. And then we're going to extend that to the right. Now you can see that support zone. So we took the trade here, and then we got out at this support level. But we had 5 contracts on. Well, you can hold this a little different if you're using less contracts. So we're going back to 1 contract. You could see we pushed off, so we definitely needed to take that profit. And this was the sign right here. Tenkan and Kijun being flat. So I traded. Let me tell you guys something. You could trade all you want. You could be, a good trader, have a good strategy. Let me bring this in. Hold on one second, guys. All right, so you could be a good trader. You could have a good strategy and everything and so forth. But the problem is, if you're not a machine or a robot, you probably don't do as good as you could with your strategy. Let me show you an example. So you saw me earlier talking about a trade. This was the trade I was supposed to take, but I let my nerves get to me. So the mental aspect stopped me from taking this trade. And even though I knew I was in a good situation, it would have been a good trade. And the reason is I'm saying it would have been a good trade, not because it worked, but because what I was going to risk. So my entry would have been so this candle closed. I would have either entered here or here at the latest, right? We would have been in one of these areas, in that area. But look where our stop loss would be. It would be a little bit above this level. It would be slightly above. It would be about that area, somewhere in there. All right. But we were risking that, and we were believing that the market would come down to probably this area right here, where this previous day high, low was, right? Is that what that is, the previous day low? Yeah, so we would have looked at the market coming down to this level, and that's where we would have looked to get that profit. So look at that big reward for what you will get. But since I didn't have the nerve on that trade, and a lot of times I'll take that trade, but just today I didn't take that trade, sitting here watching it, knowing that this was the trade we wanted. And then I talked myself out of it by letting that psychology get to me. So I've been trading for a really long time. And I know that the thing you're supposed to do that you really want to do, you have a strategy, you have your rules, just trade those rules. This loss wouldn't have been as bad as taken the trade down here, and then it pulls way back on me. When this candle, like I wanted to really wait, like I should have been in the trade here because I had the volume that I wanted to see with an indecision candle at the top, and I had a flat Tenkan and Kijun, and I had all bearish signs right there, right at this point, right? So with the bearish signs, it was telling me to take this trade short. And Tenkan and Kijun had that bearish cross still. So I wanted to take the trade short, but I waited for this candle to close, and it closed too big because now my risk went from here to down to here. That's a lot more risk because my stop loss doesn't change just because of where I get in. This is where the market, I believe that the market stop should be and would be. Now I think we're getting in a flat range here. All right, so we're probably going to be between this range, but instead the market pushed down, and then I took this trade. Now let me tell you something about this trade, okay? There's two things about this trade. So you saw me take this trade. This trade was worse than this trade. This was would have been a great trade, and not because it worked, just because of the risk reward. This risk reward depends on what you were looking at. The risk reward could have been, all right, so we put a stop loss slightly above that where we could put our stop loss, and then we could take this profit down here. All right, but instead our stop loss, we started out up here, okay, and then you could see that the risk reward was not the same, and the reward was way less than what we would have made if we took the trade with less risk. We waited, took a bad trade, not a bad trade, but we took a trade that gave us more risk. So the first trade would have been better, but we talked ourselves out of it with that psychology. So that's what I'm trying to say. Your system isn't the only thing you have to worry about. All these people showing you stuff on YouTube is about how much money they make. And I'm watching some of these trades that they're taking. I'm only trading 5 contracts, and that's a lot if you ask me. Some people are trading 10 and more, and then some of these people that I'm watching trade sometimes, I mean, gosh, they're saying they make 10, 15,000 on a trade, but I look at the trade they take, and it goes like when that trade made $2,000 and you let that thing come all the way back to like $1,200, you just lost $800, but you have the nerve to hold on to that trade all the way till it makes you like $10,000 or whatever. I just don't see that with some people. These people are trading and showing you that they have no nerves, when in reality they do have nerves, and they're showing you trades that they're making it seem like, I can't tell you these people are taking real trades sometime. Some of the only way I could have nerves like that is if it was a demo account or I didn't have much to lose. All right. And so there's a way you can have nerves like that if you feel like you're trading with Apex or one of these other companies, and you feel like, okay, I could just risk this account and I'm just going to trade reckless. That's how you have nerves like that, trading reckless, because you feel it's not your money. There's nothing to lose. You're only paying, maybe you pay $40 for a reset when they have these specials. So you feel like that's nothing for you. So you trade reckless like that. But in reality, you need to have a plan and have a long-term plan and trade that plan. As you could see, I still traded my plan, even though I didn't take the better trade. And I really wish I did, so I could have showed you guys exactly. But we talked about it, and I told you where I wanted to get, and I was showing you where I wanted to get in. But the problem is I just didn't get in at that point because I waited for the candle to close, and I should have taken the trade here because I already had my volume, and I had the candle, the indecision candle, and I had the stop loss set already. This is where we got out of the trade when it hit here, and you can see what happened now ever since. If I didn't get out at that point when I did, if I would have waited to see if it was going to break below this level, we'd have been up the creek, because look where it's going now. So we're getting ready to get a crossover here, and we got a flat cloud. We're really flat here. So there's some strong support here, some strong resistance rather now. It's going to be support and resistance. So you could see that's going to be a strong level. The market's attempting to break through that level, but that's going to be a part of the range level here. Also, you're looking at this upper level here. So you're right here. this whole area is a strong resistance point, so you may see the market correct here. I told you we could be in a range here. We do have our 1, 2, 3. So let's look at this. So if we look at the 1, 2, 3, and then shooting for 4, this looks like it could be a reversal, and the market's starting to move to the upside. And your target, see what this market is hitting at 1 to 1. Right near the 1 to 1 right here. You could see there's the 1 to 1. It went through the 1 to 1 just a little bit, and now it's starting to come back down. So we could be seeing this movement here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we push back down, and then we push back up. All right. And then if that's not going to be the case, then we're going to range in between these two levels for a while. So if this comes all the way back down here, then we're ranging in this area for a while. If it doesn't come all the way back down, and then we eventually we see this break right here, then we could see the market's going to be trending back to the upside. And that's what it looks like it's attempting to do now. So we may get a pushback here to about 45.58. 45.58, somewhere in that area. 45.58. 45.58. Let's mark 45.58 so we could see where we are here. What were we? 45.58.75. Right about here. So let's remove some of these other lines. So we're looking at the market coming back to 45.58. Now I'm going to mark another level, because we're also looking at the market coming back to this area here. It's where this fractal level is. So this zone here, let's make this into a zone. Look at the market coming back to this point before it pushes back to the upside. Ichimoku is still kind of bearish, but the market structure is starting to change because we had this 1, 2, 3 reversal with a new N wave to the upside. So the new N wave, let's see if I can show you guys that. I don't have my drawing tools, but I'm just going to show you the new N wave started. Let's see if I can bring this. Goodness, I need my tools. So the N wave started like down. So we pushed down, but here's the start of the new N wave. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and it made this N wave right here. You could see it 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually if the market's pushing to the downside, it's going to make an N wave to the downside. So this would be 1, 2, 3, and then 4 would be down here, would break this level, this 2 level, because this would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we break this structure right here. But when this stops here, where we did, and we had some previous day low, right? And here's your previous day high. So at this previous day low, we found support. So the market said 1, 2, 3, 4. So it didn't come all the way back to this low, which means now we could possibly be seeing this be the higher low, and then now you get another higher low that could develop in this area here. You get your crossover, your flat cloud. So now what's happening now, all right, so your span B flattening out, but span A is starting to angle to the upside. As you could see it, it's starting to angle to the upside a little bit. The width of your cloud is getting smaller. So if this is a low here, if we made a low and then a higher low and then maybe another higher low, we have finally closed above this level, we start to see this market move to the upside. We're starting to be bullish at that point, but we're not there yet. So we need to see if we're still going to range in this area. You do have a lot of resistance in this area, and marking this resistance from, first of all, these upper fractals, and then your flat cloud here, all right, and then this upper level here, where this is also a lot of liquidity in this area. Okay, so we want to see what's going to happen here. Then at that point, we could see if we can get into another opportunity. But yep, that's this one trade. So depending on what goes on, it's 10, 25. See how long we're going to trade today. So I have my had an Ichimoku masterclass that I put online, and also put the I put it into the website. It was a live session. It was basically what, 14 or 15 weeks or something like that. And then now we put it all in the videos, and everyone can, if you're trying to learn Ichimoku. So I'm not trying to tell you guys what to trade, how much you're going to make, or anything like that, because I can't tell you that. Because as you could see, like, maybe some people would have been proper and taken this trade and did well. And then maybe some people don't take any of these trades that we just talked about, don't get this trade. And again, yeah, this was the worst trade of all. So I put another video out on YouTube earlier talking about Ichimoku. I think it was like the best strategy for for trading Ichimoku. And basically that strategy is when we're using this Tenkan and Kijun, and we break this Tenkan. All right, when we break it right here, you could see. And that's what we were looking at on this trade. So our first trade failed us because we didn't get an opportunity. A couple things failed us here. Again, I want to talk about it real quick. The mentality failed us, the psychology. So it doesn't matter about the trading system. The trading system did right. It did what it was supposed to do. It told me what it was supposed to tell me. I saw the things that I needed to see, but my mental psychology, trading psychology, failed me right here on this great opportunity. And then again on the next trade, when you really think about it, I already said this, but the psychology should have been worse on this trade. It would have been like, really, are you taking this one over that one? So this trade here, we didn't have much profit as far as like where the market could go, because we were trading right into a support level, a possible support level. And we found that that level was support. The reason we thought it might be support was because of how flat we were right here. And again, we're flattened out again, but we're bullish. I think we made a low here. I think, see if we get a low in this area, if this stays as a low, if we don't violate Kijun here, then we're probably going to see the market push higher. We could range, though. We had a lot of news this morning, so we might see the market just flatten out today, not give us much else. I don't trade the news, never did, never will. What we had at this morning at 8:30, we had a lot of news, mostly that U.S. initial jobless claims, right? U.S. core PCE price index, consumer spending, Canadian GDP. So we had a lot of news this morning. And now the market, let's see what it's going to do for the rest of the day. A lot of on days like that, a lot of times you get a lot of ranging. This could be a low here. We bounced off of the level. See, we talked about the level, came right down to the level. Again, this would have been another possible opportunity. We're looking at this crossover right here, right? So this crossover is bullish, is a bullish crossover, but everything's flat, everything, and we're in between some levels. I would think we need to close outside of this level and see a correction before we start taking any trades to the upside. That's for sure. And as far as the downside, I don't see any downside trading either, because if I'm going to trade now, I think we're in a range. So I just want to see if we go back and forth between these levels. So maybe you would trade this level and trade that support and resistance levels, and that's where you would be with this trading here. But right now, nothing going on. Love that angulation right there. So that is great right there. So I want to see, I'm not going to take a trade here. This is a good support level. I want to see the market violate this resistance point, violate this high, correct itself, and then we'll trade again. But I think this is a good opportunity right here, because you got the low, higher low, and this might be developing into a low. Yeah, so we're not going to be taking that trade though. All right, so we'll just wait, see what happens. I'm going to hide myself for now. You don't need to see me. No reason to see me, right? Don't need to see me. I'll chill out and wait. Bye. I'm still here though. You just don't need to see me. So I'll probably post some of this video, part of the trade that we took and the trade we missed. What I'm going to want to talk about is that flat Kijun and Tenkan. So if you flatten out, the main thing that you could think about, we were all bearish because first of all, we're under the cloud. The cloud was bearish anyway. You had a Kumo twist that was bearish. You had a crossover that was bearish with your Tenkan and Kijun, but these were both flat. So when they're both flat like that, and the market goes above it, but Tenkan and Kijun are showing you bearish signs, this is still a bearish market. So this was the best spot to get into it. And also we came right up to this, almost right to this fractal level. We missed it a little bit, but then we had these indecision candles here, and a lot of nice bearish volume started to develop, and then we had to trade to the downside. So I'm trying to let you know that this flat Tenkan and Kijun are very strong signs. When you get flat like that, as you could see, you were flat here. You were still aiming here, but then you got flat, which means you ranged here. So you could see where the market was ranging while Tenkan and Kijun were flat. It ranged here while they were flat. And while we were flat here, it wasn't so much a range at that point, but it was like when we made this low here and then came up to this high, we were still flat. We didn't have any angulation to the upside. And then you could see what happened. The market dropped, found resistance, and then dropped. The best resistance point was that flat cloud right here, this as a resistance point. You could see now the market honoring that level. You had this big crossover here. It's honoring this level a little bit, so you may have a low, higher low, then another higher low. Then we want to definitely violate this level before we start really thinking about trading. But let's go back a little bit. I'm going to show you how you could see this flat Tenkan and Kijun are very important. Just flat for a little bit, but this was a pullback, so that's why we flattened out. We also were flat, like because you started ranging here. So you started to get flat here, and then it broke a little bit lower, and you were flat with Tenkan and Kijun at that point. Everywhere you could see where it was flat, where everything's flat. We really don't want to be trading because those are going to be telling you that the market's ranging or you found a top or bottom. So like with this one here, you see how we're flat? We pulled below. Now right here, we pulled right down to this level. And then we bounced off Kijun. They were both flat, but we were still bullish. And the bullish crossover was what it was. Now you're flat here. You could just see all these flat areas. They matter because that's what the market's doing, ranging. It lets you know that we're consolidating or ranging. And that's what we see. I don't day trade with Ichimoku a lot. Okay, I do trade basically some moving averages. So I look at some other things as far as like the VIX, the ADD, the NICE tick. Look at those things to help me decide about trades. I was looking at when I saw this come in, I was still looking at the ADD, and it was showing that it started to become a little bit bullish, and that's why I let this walk away from me also. But there's nothing that reacts as fast as the market. Now, if you just look at what happens here, watch your volume, you're at your levels, you could see the volume increasing for you. That's where you want to get into your trade. Well, I think we're going to be a while before anything goes down. I'm not going to sit here for a little bit. So we are starting to move, though. Starting to push towards these levels. Starting to push up toward these levels. This was the point. Remember, we talked about this before it even developed. Because there's certain points in the market that we look for the market to come down to, that like you don't know if the market's going to come. All right, so it hits this level. You don't know if it's going to stop here at this fractal. We make it into a zone or come back to this level. But it could come back to Tenkan or Kijun. So we came back to this zone that we developed. We talked about the zone before it came to that point. Then it comes back down to that point. And also when you look at the zone, it came back to the Kijun level, which we also had a zone there. All right. And then we had this move here. So you could see where like the volume, the bearish volume fell off right here. Right. So you had good bearish volume here, but then you had less here, and then you could see what the candle was like, but then you had this right here. So at worst you could have entered here, but you could see we don't have, it doesn't look like we have the volume to get through this level. So it looks like we could be ranging for a little bit. Let me tell you why. It doesn't look like we have the volume to get through that level. In order to get through this level, you need strong bull volume pushing up. You're getting weaker bull volume. You can see what happened now. The bears are taking over. Not yet, but they're trying to. All right, they did push this back all the way back down. So let's see, usually within that last 30 seconds tells you a lot about the candle, and you can see these bulls are really trying to push this thing back down. And that's what I'm saying. You cannot move through this level with decreasing volume. You need more volume to get through that level. Like here, when we got up to this point, it was iffy. You didn't know if we would get through this level. You just had a bigger volume bar. But then the next candle was bearish, and then you could see what happened. Looks like we're flat a little bit. I'm not going to sit here all day and talk about nothing as the market's doing nothing. And we had that news, like I said. So I also see we're getting into like maybe this P wave formation before we break to the upside. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Let me move some of this stuff because you probably can't see anything with that. So I'm going to remove that. Don't want to remove those. I'm going to remove all these lines. I'm going to remove that one. I want to show you this formation we're getting into. So P wave is bullish and bearish. You could have a bullish P wave or a bearish P wave. And where that wave comes from is this. You could see this high. And then you have this next one here. So you're basically getting into a P wave formation. Not a real book, textbook style P wave though. But that's what that looks like. And then now you can see the market's coming back down again. Trying to push back down to that support and resistance level of that previous day low. So really now, I'm not going to trade the bounce off of this level. Even though I know that if we get to here, we're ranging pretty good. You could see that. We're pretty much basically between this level right here. I would say this is your range level right here. That's your range level. You had 3 hits there and you had a good hit there, almost hit there. Slight breakthrough, believe that was grabbing that liquidity here. Then the market pushes back down. Also, you have this flat level here. We don't have any multiple lows here, but you're flat right here. Market failed to get through this point. Bounced on it once, twice. Looks like third time here. Is it going to break through this time? Now, let's see. You need more volume to get through there. You can't fade off. You can't fall off. And then effort and result have to match. So this is close, but I think we got too much. Like with this big candle, this candle should be like this candle. It shouldn't be like this. But we still have time to see how this closes. See, you got increase in volume and a bigger candle. So it looks like a possible breakthrough this level. But I don't trade breakouts. Now the next candle could change right away. And this has to maintain. It can't drop and push back higher before this candle closes in 10 seconds. You want to see this stay like that or get, now see, that's not good. For this size candle, volume bar, that candle is not what you want to see. That much volume, almost the most. See where that big volume comes in like that. Be careful. So I think you're going to bounce on this level. This would be a good opportunity to trade long. And then here, but this isn't part of my strategy right now, so I'm not going to trade it. But I could tell you this, we're pretty flat right here. And Ichimoku tells me that right away right here. And that's how that Tenkan and Kijun helps you. All right, I don't think I have anything else to talk about at this point, so I'll just hold off. For the video purposes, I think I'm going to just be done here. Not trying to put a 10-hour video out for you guys. Just I know that a lot of people want to learn stuff, but they don't have the mentality or the capacity to just listen and sit and watch a video. You get that first couple minutes. There's things people want to pick out of video. They want to learn how to take the trade and this and that. They don't want to learn how to really trade. They want to see you. What strategy do you do? What do you do? How do you do this? And that's the first thing they want to do. They don't really want to understand everything. They just want to get to certain points that they think they can do to just trade without really knowing and learning. And that's why these long videos on YouTube just don't really cut it, because people don't really pay attention to those videos to learn. And that's what it's really all about. So hopefully this stuff is helping you guys out. So I'm going to end this right now. But till next time, guys, you have a great one. God bless. So long.